Well, hello and welcome to glennzb TV for Wednesday, the show that puts glennzb up your Periscope. And back in my rightful place again. It's not easy. It's a funny business, this Periscope. I tell you, sometimes it wants me up it and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's a struggle. But anyway, we got there in the end today. Who wants to see what goes on in hospitals anyway? They're taking steps to ban people taking pictures willy-nilly in hospitals. Like of newborn babies and mums. I have tried so hard to forget any of that stuff ever happened. I'm not quite sure how the domestic manager and how my two monsters feel about that as well, but I'm sure they probably are also trying to forget any of that ever happened. Why you would want to document that pictorially, I have no idea. It was gross and disgusting. There's just blood and shit everywhere, up the walls, all over everybody in the room. Why would you want to take a picture of that? Anyway, that's happening, so probably good. Pleased start banning it. What would you eat? What would you eat at a fast food restaurant? Would you eat alligator if it was on the menu? What if it was just serving you the alligator? A man has been charged with throwing an alligator into a fast food restaurant. Yes, that's a thing you can be charged with, apparently. Well, technically the charges are aggravated assault and unlawful possession and transportation of an alligator. Hello, Grey Parrot. Nice to have you with us. I hope I'm not in unlawful possession of a grey parrot now that you're watching this. Anyway. Joshua James, 23, of Jupiter, Florida, wanted to play a practical joke on a friend who was working at the Wendy's restaurant in Royal Palm Beach when he decided to throw the alligator into the building. So that is funny. That's a funny joke. I mean, who among us has not thrown an alligator into somebody else's place of work for laughs? That's funny, I have to admit. But see, often with these stories, when you drill down, as Christiane Amanpour would say on CNN, when you drill down into the story, there are unanswered questions like, James found the 3-foot alligator on the side of the road and led the reptile into his truck. How do you lead an alligator into your truck? Trail of M&Ms? What are we talking there? Promise of a green card if you get you across the border? What's tempting to an alligator? I don't know. I'm pretty sure the alligator didn't know what it was getting into when it was led into that truck, that's for sure. So grey parrots in Turkey, if you're wondering. I'm not quite sure what the transportation of wild parrots laws say in Turkey, but I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to stuff you up in the Periscope. Poor rugby players. Actually, I think I tried to... Is that how you spell? Poor rugby players, when they're not rich and famous anymore, turn to drugs. This is a story that's around in the news today. George Laupepe apparently didn't know what to do with himself once his rugby career was finished. Am I being sympathetic enough or not really? Not really, am I? But I don't know. When movie stars and high-profile sports people start complaining that they don't know what to do with themselves, why don't you invest in an alligator fast food restaurant and make some money doing that? Just an idea. And finally, just when you needed another reason to not ever buy an iPhone, now they ban you from using them if they don't recognise your fingerprint. And we all know that the fingerprint security, it's good, except like, I don't know, if you've just done the dishes, just got out of the pool, got something on your hands, and then suddenly you're banned, you're locked out of your iPhone and you can't use it. This is an interesting feature, isn't it? A feature that makes you not use it. Has Apple just realised that people don't really want to use them, and so they're finally actually giving people what people want rather than what Apple wants, which would be a nice refreshing change as I broadcast into this lovely Samsung Note 5. Are they finally giving people what they want and stopping people from using iPhones altogether? Good plan, Apple. I'm sure that'll work great for you. See what I'm doing? I'm showing up my thumbprints there. Hey, thank you so much for having me up your Periscope on the Samsung Note 5. And why do I say that? Because I think iPhones are silly and that they're not innovators anymore, and that other companies are doing all the innovation in mobile devices. That's why I say that. They've become the followers and have done for years now. Anyway, we'll talk about that another day. Thank you for having me up your Periscope, and I'll see you back here again tomorrow.